everybody. Okay, so I'm gonna break down this trade that I'm currently in right now. I took this trade on Gbpjpy. Is at TP1 right now, so I'm just glad that that hit. So I'm going to go ahead and run down the breakout strategy that I was doing. All right, so let me just do it from here. Man, I had to restart this and do this whole video over because for some reason, my screen wasn't shown correctly. So, all right, guys, here's Gbpjpy. Here I'm looking at the market, and I'm just looking at, all these lower lows it's been making for, the past, week or two. And literally I was looking for buys on Monday, but for some reason that did not work out in my favor. So I got stopped out a couple of times and I just had to go about my day. I caught AU sales on Monday, and just to bring myself back up a little bit in profit. But I took back some of my losses, but I did lose overall on Monday. So if you look at session breakers, I was definitely looking for some buys in the market. Let me go ahead and do a replay mode. Boom. All right. So around this part, this was the area I was actually looking for buys. It was at the low of London. Okay. I love using kill zones right here. It tells you about the session open, and it talks about this, shows you about the session that you're trading in as well. You can obviously see London's low, Asian's low, and New York if you tend to want to color code your spots. So it was at these lows, and I actually bought around this area, and of course the market decides to tank on me and continue going, right? So I'm like, okay, let me just wait for the next day. I didn't wake up for London on this one, but I did catch GJ on New York, and I'm gonna tell you how. So you can definitely see that the market is downtrending, right? And I was not up around this time, but the market began to break this trend. Now, does that mean I automatically look for buys if it breaks this trend line? Absolutely not. What I do is I look for a particular structure for it to break. So not only the trend line, but this structure right here. So I wasn't up for this, but if I was up for this, I would have easily got into this trade. Your stop loss would not be 56 pips because that was on a 1 hour time frame. If I had taken it right here, I wait for that closure, 15-minute candle, stop loss right below it, 24 pips, and I probably would have rolled it to this high, 73 pips, right? But I was not up for that. So what I did do is when I did wake up, it was around 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock. All right, so around 7 o'clock, I looked for this trade. Okay, now what do we see? We see on a 1 hour time frame, we see a supply area. Okay, it tapped right into that. All right, now I was looking for this break of the high. Of course, obviously on a 15-minute, it doesn't show that. You see clear as day that the market is breaking these highs. Okay, now some of you guys are like, well, why didn't you sell if it's an overall downtrend? First of all, it broke this structure, right? It broke this structure right here of these lows, and it continued to make higher lows and higher highs and higher lows. So higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. So it kept making these higher highs and higher lows. So I'm like, it's gonna have to. It doesn't have to, but I'm thinking like, okay, it's going to definitely break above. Plus, it's playing at these highs. So you guys, me, I like to wait for the break. Okay, if it breaks, then I'm in. Okay, so if I delete this, I wasn't necessarily just looking for this particular break, which I could have got in, but just to be on the safe side, knowing GJ, I wanted to see it kind of like break these highs. All right, so broke that high, bullish confirmation. Once it tapped into that high and it kept going, I'm like, okay, I'm getting it, man. I'm not waiting for this. So 30 pip stop loss. All right, and I'm shooting to these highs right here. All right, TP1 and then TP2. It's a swing trade. All right, and after taking some loss earlier this week, currently sitting right here. Okay, so if you simply just wait on your setup, guys, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, man, the market's gonna bless you. I even struggle with being impulsive sometimes. You know, I have blown challenge accounts because of that reason, right? And it's just not cool. I'm still on this journey. I'm still learning about my trading. I'm still trying to adjust the way I trade. I'm not sitting here trying to be the GOAT of Forex. I'm not sitting here trying to be, you know, quote unquote, the best trader there is alive right now. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Right now, I'm just trading the way I see the market, the way I want to see the market, and profit the best way I can. Am I a full-time Forex trader? Absolutely not. You know, I still have a job. My goal is to be, you know, financially free through, you know, trading, but that doesn't mean like, you know, I put my all into this and like, oh man, you know, if I don't, you know, get out of my job and make all this money in Forex, then, you know, I'm never going to, you know, see. And that's when you put yourself in the hole. That's when you plant the seed in your mind that you're not necessarily doing it for the right reasons. You're just doing it just for the money. You can't do it for the money. You have to, you know, I don't just look at Forex as just a business. You know, a lot of people put this into a business perspective as well, which is okay. Yes, Forex is a business, but sometimes when you say Forex is a business, it's like you put your all into this one asset, and then all of a sudden your identity lies in that asset, and then all of a sudden when you're losing, you're constantly throwing your money to these funded companies, and you're not even really working on yourself. You have to make sure that when you start trading Forex, that you're in a right mental state to do this. Yes, you're a businessman. Yes, you are trading, you know, currencies around the world. Yes, you are doing that. But don't just look at it as I have to be, you know, this particular person just because, you know, I'm working a job. Look, if you're working a job, work your job. If Forex takes you farther than that, if Forex takes you farther than what it can supply, than what your job supplies you and provides for you, then yes, you're able to quit your job, do this full time, and even get into other assets. Let Forex fuel your assets, right? So I'm just sick and tired of looking at certain Forex, you know, gurus on these, you know, platforms that always talks about like, you know, you do X and Y and Z, you're gonna be, you know, a full-time trader, and you know, I'm telling you, do this and like 1, 2, 3, and you'll be financially free like that. That's not true. Like when I start seeing Lambos and, you know, all these cars, like people flashing, like that doesn't make any sense. I really personally do not understand why people want to flash their stuff. I mean, honestly, I look at it as a marketing opportunity. Like, guys, literally, I'm trying to help you guys understand how to trade, and I'm not even a full-time Forex trader. But the fact that I'm celebrating a win, and the fact that I'm sharing free information to you guys, even if you do join the group or not. And listen, when you do join a group, it's not like, oh, you know, I'm just going to sit back. You can sit back and just like look at the analysis and just check the trade. But what are you getting out of the group? Like, are you learning? You know what I'm saying? Like, my group sits here and we trade together and we learn. I don't always win, you know what I'm saying? And when I do win, I celebrate those wins, right? But we all have a journey. So if you look at GJ is still bullish in my opinion. You can still see the support area right here is created, the supply zone. If it blows through it, you could look for sales, but to be honest, I would still stick to buys until it gets to this major zone up here. I'll probably look for sales if it comes all the way back down here, it just keeps floating back down. But right now I'm looking for buys. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful for you. To be honest, guys, the way I trade is break and retest, but I'm trading simple breaks. Like, I don't really get into all the these super, you know, these super patterns. You know what I'm saying? I literally look at candlestick patterns. Yeah, I look at candlestick patterns. I do look at, you know, formation patterns, of course, but I don't trade those. Like, I literally trade structure and price action. That's all you need, to be honest. I mean, unless you want to make trading a little bit more complicated, you know. I'll tell you what, I usually always lose my trade when I don't stick to my analysis, when I don't stick to my trade, and I also lose my trades when I'm trading differently than I usually do. Okay, so just keep in mind about that. I hope this video was helpful. Like and subscribe if you like this video. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.